Welcome back everyone to a brand new video, and so today we are actually not on Legends. We're not on Dragon Ball Legends. We're actually going to be trying a new type of video. I kind of want to branch out, slowly progress into different types of videos for you guys, and right now, as you guys can see, it's a 5 Nights at Freddy's security breach video. So in this video, we're basically going to be looking at all the different animatronic deaths and decommissions, and we're going to be ranking them. We're going to be ranking them by which ones were the worst decommissions and deaths, and which ones were not the worst deaths and decommissions. So it's pretty straightforward, and we're going to be judging them by 3 different categories, which I'm about to share right now. Number 1, the situation. How avoidable was the situation? Could they have walked away? Could they have ran away? Could they have stopped and thought, this is not a good idea. We should probably not be doing this. Number 2, the damage. How screwed did they look? How awful did they look? How much of a toll did they take from their situations? And number 3, how deserving were they of the situation? How deserving were they for what they did? Did they get punished enough? Did they not get punished enough? Would you go, yeah, they really deserve that? Or would you go, they probably didn't deserve it as much as the others, but, they still deserve something? Or would you go, they didn't deserve it at all? Like, nothing at all, 0%. The way I'm going to be scoring these is each category will be out of 10 points. Okay, this might be a bit confusing, but for categories 1 and 3, the situation and deserving categories, if the value is less in those categories, that means the situation is not that bad, so it's like least worst. That's because if you can avoid a situation, then, they'll be at fault, so it wouldn't be the worst situation if they could avoid it. And if they're more deserving, then obviously, then you won't feel bad for them, so that's not going to be a worse situation either. If you want to feel like it's a worse situation, then you would actually feel bad for them, and you would say, oh, that situation was not avoidable. So yeah, I just want to explain that real quick. Hopefully it made sense. Alright, so first off, we got Glamrock Chica, and as we all know, she got pretty screwed over by the garbage disposal. Gregory just pressed a button and said, you're gonna be crushed. She got crushed. She essentially got crushed. That's what happened. Could the situation have been avoidable? To a certain extent, yeah. I mean, she was literally right there in danger. She literally went to the trash. Literally the trash. And the pizza was there, though, on her defense. The pizza was there, but she still was eating trash. I don't know why. She was there. She was lured. And she was basically asking in a way to get crushed. But then, at the same time, she didn't know Gregory was there. She didn't know the situation. She was just there to have a snack, honestly. So yes, it could have been avoidable to a certain extent, but at the same time, she really couldn't do much if she didn't expect that. She's literally, it's like if you're just going to do something, you're just going to do something. You're not thinking, oh, a meteor is going to follow me or something like that. It's just, in her defense, yeah, it couldn't have been avoided, but at the same time, it could have. In terms of the damage received, well, we've seen pictures. We've seen the gameplays. We know she lost her beak. She was pretty destroyed afterwards. She just lost her sound box, I believe, as well. So yeah, she was pretty screwed over. And finally, how deserving was she? Well, to be fair, all of them would be the same amount because, they're being screwed over by Vanny. They're being possessed or mind controlled, whatever you want to call it. But taking that away, how deserving was she? She was really not that deserving of that. Come on now. She was essentially tricked without knowing. She had no knowledge of Gregory being right behind her whatsoever. And she had no idea of what was going to happen. She didn't know she was about to get obliterated. Absolutely clapped. She didn't know that was going to happen. So, in her defense, yeah, she didn't really deserve it. But at the same time, she was right there in danger. So yeah, she was still at fault as well. So here's my first example of the different scorings. As you can see, I'm giving her kind of avoidable 7 points because, yeah, she could have actually avoided that if we're being completely honest. Damage was bad, yeah. She literally got kicked in the face as well. She got shoved. No one else got physically abused by Gregory himself. She was the only one, actually. And sort of deserving is what I put for the last category, 7 points. Because she didn't really deserve it, but at the same time, she kind of did. Not as much as the others we're about to look at, but this was her scoring. Our next one is Roxanne Wolf, Roxy. Okay, so this one is definitely different. She was in a situation where Gregory essentially ran her over with a cart. So the situation, okay, was it avoidable? Of course. She literally took a big leap, as you saw right there. She took the big leap and was basically just there asking to get hit. Now, you could say, yes, she she probably had a plan to jump over Gregory and, you know, jump over the cart, do like some flip to look awesome and stuff, let Gregory crash and then kill him, or something like that, or just literally dash out of the way. But she didn't expect, you know, Gregory to actually jump out and the cart to actually roll and fly instead. So maybe she wasn't counting on that, she wasn't depending on that, so she wasn't aware of that happening. So she basically misjudged the situation. It could have certainly been avoidable. She shouldn't have been there in the first place. She shouldn't have jumped in the middle of the track. But at the same time, I don't know. It could have gone her way if she actually knew what was gonna happen. Now the damage, you saw what happened. Her eyes literally got screwed. She got really, really bad punishment on the eyes, and her structure was just screwed over as well. You saw the pictures and everything. And how deserving was she? She was pretty deserving. I mean, she was there. Come on now. She just stood there. You could argue she could have leaped at the last moment. But if you're thinking about it in a real life situation, you would freeze. You wouldn't really know what to do, and that's probably what happened to her as well. So, she did deserve it. She deserved it more than Chica, as a matter of fact. The situation was more avoidable than Chica's as well, so her scoring is going to look a bit different. So this is Roxy's scorecard. See what I mean? So since her situation was avoidable, her value lowered a little bit. And since it was more deserving for her, she lowered a little bit as well. This would right now mean that Roxy is not as bad as Chica's because of the scoring that I chose for her. So right now, Chica's actually in the lead. So hooray for her. Next up, good old Montgomery Gator. Monty. Okay, this one's going to be an interesting one. So we all know how Monty likes to break stuff, how aggressive he is. In this situation, he was literally on Gregory's ass the whole time. He would not let him breathe. He would not let him do anything. And as you can see, he was then crushed by a barrel. The ground below him gave out. And he just went through just a straight up brutal process of just getting broken piece by piece. His sunglasses even broke as well. And those were a very important part to him as well, which protected him from your phaser blaster. But, you know, the situation was avoidable. He shouldn't have been there in the first place at all. He could have handled that in a much less violent and hostile way. There was no need for him to keep chasing the kid. And, you know, how broken he was, the damage. Obviously, we saw the pictures. He was really, really screwed. The man couldn't even walk anymore. He was releasing these yells, these emotional yells of, like, despair. It was heartbreaking at the same time. So, you know, he was really broken emotionally as well, and deserving. He deserved it. I mean, he was going at Gregory, and he was basically harassing the kid, you know, in a way. So, Monty, you kind of did deserve what was coming to you. So for how avoidable it was, Monty, I gave him an extra point compared to Roxy because it was literally much less avoidable. He had to hold that really heavy barrel with balls, and the ground below him gave out, so he really could not do anything. He could have tried, but it wouldn't really have worked out. The damage, he got violated, straight up violated by the balls as well, man. He was left, oh my god, he was left in such a bad condition. Yeah, definitely the worst out of the other two, and deserving, he was deserving. Come on, let's just say it. He was really deserving of what happened. He could have taken a different approach, but this is Monty's scorecard, and I don't know who's in the lead right now. I really don't know who has the worst right now. This is where things can start to get different because of bias reasons, but I'm going to try and be as factual as possible. We have Vanny up next, and as we all know, she caused almost everything in the game. She's been the one going after Gregory and the one who's been messing around with the animatronics as well, being hostile and being pure evil. So, she basically died in two different points, one from Freddy and one from being disassembled by Gregory and his command voice. You know what? She deserves this. The first category is going to be very low for her. She definitely could have avoided this. She caused everything, so if she didn't do anything, then obviously nothing would have happened to her or to anybody as a matter of fact. The damage, she died, so obviously that's going to be a high numeric value. And last but not least, yes, it was deserving for her. Very deserving. So the reason she still has a 3 on the first category is because you could argue Glitch Trap was controlling her and it wasn't entirely her fault, so she couldn't really avoid it in a way. And yeah, I guess that's fair. We'll give her that. She has died. She has an 8 because I don't really have a good reason. I just gave her an 8 because she died twice and minus 2 points. That's about it. Guys, it's Vanny anyway. She wasn't gonna have the worst death or decommission anyways. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we even have the one and only William Afton on here because he did die. Actually, quite a bit of times, as a matter of fact. So, yes, the situation obviously could have been avoidable. He was the main cause of everything. He's been the main cause since Fnaf 1, Five Nights at Freddy's 1, so of course it could have been avoidable. And the damage, the man died. He got burned into crisps. And lastly, of course, he was deserving of what happened to him. He was the main cause of his deaths anyways. So here's his scorecard, 0, 10, 0. I gave him a 10 just to throw him a bone. Because he did die 3 times, right? He died before in the Springtrap costume. He died here. And didn't he not die digitally from the Princess Quest game? And I guess that's a theory, specifically Matt Pat's theory, which I actually agree with as well. But I'm not going to get into this because it's going to keep dragging on. That's probably for some other video. I'm going to talk about that stuff. But I think he did die at least twice. But yeah, we'll give him 10 points for that category. 10 points it is. And of course, the best for last, Glamrock Freddy, our good old pal, the one who was with us even during the elevator rides. Come on now. Freddy, he definitely took the biggest toll. I mean, his situation was really not that avoidable. You can say that he could have not been there. He could have just left Gregory on his own and really pretty much saved himself and stuff. But, you know, come on now. He wasn't like that. It would be pretty mediocre to give him something like that, you know, give him a hard time for that. So, yes, the situation was not really avoidable for him. Not very avoidable at all. Definitely the least avoidable out of the other ones. The damage he got disassembled pretty badly. He was so ruined, so ruined to the point that he basically died. He literally died. So obviously that's gonna increase Freddy's score a lot more as one of the worst ones. And how deserving? He wasn't deserving at all. He was there for physical, emotional support with us as well. He helped us throughout the whole adventures. He was there the whole time. So yes, this is his scorecard, 8, 10, 9. Definitely high numbers because this was a very sad situation. So here are the results paired together in one picture. As y'all can see, Freddy took the leading spot number 1. If y'all disagree, I want to see your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to feel free to express yourselves and explain what you all think, what y'all saw of this video, and if y'all want to see more like this in the future. For example, a video on who was more involved with Bonnie's disappearance, you know, stuff like that, just to get things wrapped up, you know. But yeah, until next time, everyone, I didn't expect this one to go on as long as it went. This one went on for a while and it took a lot of screenshots and editing stuff, but you know, it's worth it for all of you guys. Roxy and Monty were both tied with 18 points, which I don't know, to me it personally makes sense. I don't know about all of you, maybe y'all prefer one or the other, so that's why it's different. And Chica was a slow and painful death, so I think 22 really suits her as well. Well, I should say a decommission because she didn't really die, so you know, it's not the same. So yeah, leave your thoughts on these type of videos or just leave comments saying that stop and just go back to Legends. Either way, thank you guys so much and I'll see you all next time.